Here's the bottom line. My theory is they can only present, because it's such a big lie with Michelle Obama. If you went for 6 months, I'd be every single day on the air talking about Bernadine Dorn and Michelle Obama, right? They can't have that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to create an event that for 60 days is going to drown out all the other news. There's going to be dead people, fried dead people, there's going to be blue dead people for 60 days. And nobody's going to have any time to listen to a bunch of wingnut people like these blue hair conservatives that are talking about Michelle Obama having a penis, right? Because you're going to have those people off in the corner. They're perfect to just distract everybody from the truth.
Well, I ordered that.
Hold on, wait. Let me make my point. What better way to cause everybody to ignore the truth about Michelle Obama than to have a bunch of dumb freaking Christians off in the corner talking about Michelle Obama's penis? The whole country looks at you like you're a freaking wingnut. And that's by design. Nobody will listen to you. No, if you running around saying that Michael Obama has a penis and you say, go listen to the Pete Santilli show, and you tell your Democrat family member, first of all, they're not going to worry about Pete Santilli. They already know that you're running around saying that Michelle Obama has a penis. You lost all credibility. You will not be able to tell human beings the truth about Michelle Obama because you're saying she has a penis. And that's the desired effect of getting all the conservative blue hairs Photoshop pictures of Michelle Obama's penis.
Well, we hang around with some people who've done a lot of research on that issue, and every single one of them have said, at first it was really plausible. I mean, there was this. Stay with it. I'll be right off screen for a minute. Yep. There was this consensus that it was possible, and so a lot of people.
What was possible?
That she was a transgender.
Sure.
Right. And so a lot of them authors, historians, things like the people who have access to deep research, and they did deep research on her, including Joel Gilbert, right? And they said that, it's just not true. She's not transgender. So, but hanging around with Bernadine Dorn and those types, I would not be surprised if she too wasn't bisexual. I haven't heard anybody talk about that, but a couple of our friends have said there's indication that she and Barack both were bisexual. So, who knows? I think it's kind of, people have had a good time with it. Some of the memes out there are hilarious. Okay. So, but the reality is, and I have come to believe, because I trust, the people that we talk to who are deep researchers and have researched her childhood, her family, from the time she was born on up, and she is a female, believe it or not. So I've come to believe that she is. But I have to tell you, when I ordered you that Bill Ayers book, he's got a new book coming out. You want to hear the title? No, he seriously does. September 10th. It says, "When freedom is in question, abolition is the answer." So that's the name of Bill Ayers' new book.
Hold on a second. Is that true?
Yeah, it'll be released on September 10th.
Okay, you want to hear something else?
Mm-hmm.
Guess when he released his other book? On September 11th.
Oh, did he?
He did.
That's interesting. Huh?
On 9/11, September 11th.
The
9/11.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've been talking about the post-Civil War abolitionist movement, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it curious how he refers to the abolition term?
Mm-hmm.
Post-Civil War abolitionist movement.
Yeah.
Okay? These are post-Civil War abolitionists. That's what they are. And you may not understand what that means. That's okay, because they've been operating in the darkness. They're the ones that cause the division. You know how I know this? Because a political scientist named Charles Merriam came out and started out, I think it was a Republican, if you go look at his background. That's secondary to the following. And he ran for office. He's a political guru, right? And, the political scientists, they know how to craft, they'll do gerrymandering and they'll try to get electoral vote. I mean, this is a scientific approach to winning elections. Where are you going to put your boots on the grounds?
Right.
On the ground, like where it matters, right? So these scientists are very, very smart. How do I change the hearts, minds, and souls? So he said, ideologically, this is what I believe in. And I want to help usher this and get it across the line. Communism, Marxist revolution, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to run as a progressive, and I'm just going to tell them I'm all about social justice and stuff like that. And Charles Merriam dabbled with putting it out there with a social justice type mantra, right? In order to get his Marxism across the finish line.
Sure.
And what he discovered, that when he put himself out as a progressive, half of the country was repulsed by it. They were just like violently opposed to this whole social justice thing, right?
I would say more than half.
No, hold on. Listen, just go with me here, right? He said, when I come out as a progressive with the hidden agenda to get Marxism across the finish line, I get attacked by half the country.
Yeah.
I do. I just get attacked. Okay. I'm a Marxist. I'm going to get this done. I need to be a little bit quieter about it. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to form an alliance that behind the scenes, you know what we're going to do? We're going to, because we already know naturally that the communists and the capitalists will battle it out and they hate each other. They're split 50-50, right? They hate it. They hate it. They hate each other. And the Democrats and the Republicans will battle it out and they hate each other. Split 50-50. Everybody's split 50-50, 50-50.
That's true.
And you accomplish nothing, getting across. But I'm trying to get Marxism across the line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep all these dum-dums, okay, battling it out with each other, right? And then every time they have a battle, right, the Democrats and Republicans, they have a battle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a black man out there. And he's going to have a unifying message. And he's going to want to live the American dream and end the Iraq war. Spending $16 billion a month isn't what we do. And we need to come together as a people. Okay. And guess what happened? There were people, okay, on the Republican side that went to Barack Obama.
Oh, many people did.
I'm using Barack Obama as the specific example. And I'm just going to say that.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, how do I know that this methodology is plausible? Because it was perpetrated on me. It was so effective. There was nothing more effective. My entire life was all about conservative republicanism. But the conflict that exists, what they do is they go inside of even the political parties of the left and the right. They're not Republican. They're not Democrat. Their job as post-Civil War abolitionists is to usher in Marxist through Marxist revolutionary techniques. By causing the conflicts, we'll synthesize an opportunity, right? Because if you get the rhinos and the MAGA people, Republicans no, we're not split, but it's causing conflict, right? Within the Republican Party. They're the ones that are behind the scenes causing the conflict, because all they're looking for is the opportunity to go past the conflict and get to the podium.
Well, you have to remember too, when Barack Obama came on the scene, it tells you how far in advance these people plan out, right? Because when Barack Obama came on the scene, people like you, who were Fox News Republicans, right? You were so disenchanted by George Jr., right? George Bush Jr. And you were so disenfranchised by disenchanted with his presidency. I mean, we were in war. They lied about weapons of mass destruction. He was the Kamala Harris of the Republicans,
Yes.
right? Ignorant. And everybody knew that Dick Cheney was running everything and Halliburton. It was a big war machine during his presidency. Everybody was tired of George Bush. And 9/11 happened on his watch. So when Barack Obama came on the scene, Mr. Cool, he had the swagger. He had, he was on all the late night talk show hosts. Everybody loved him. And that's before talk shows were outwardly pushing Marxism, right? They all seemed fair and balanced still at that time, right? So people just were not the wiser of it. And race relations in this country were great when Barack Obama came on the scene, right? People were, it was just a whole different atmosphere from the 60s and the 70s. The 90s were, you had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They were pushing all that. Correct? Am I right? And
yeah.
So,
hold on a second. Can I ask you one question? Just
sure.
a quick one.
Mm-hmm.
At any point in time, and Barack Obama's campaign, I mean, that was real. People were, and I know for a fact it was real. You know why? Because the first time I heard him in a speech on C-SPAN, my brother and I are hardcore, like, we'll dress up like Sean Hannity Day. You know what I mean? Like, we were hardcore conservative Republicans. And
right.
I'm putting together his Bowflex in his basement, right? And he's running around. He went and ran an error, had an errand. He had to get something. And he comes back in, and I had been sitting there for an hour on C-SPAN listening to Barack Obama. And he comes down the stairs, and I said, dude, what I just heard, I said, that guy right there, he's going to be the next president of the United States. If other people heard what I just heard, he will be the next president. Yeah. And this is like one of the first speeches. And my brother was so upset with me. He said, what are you, crazy? I said, no, dude, you didn't hear what he just said. All the stuff we're complaining about, right? He just said it, okay? This guy will be the next president. I said, mark my words. I said, write it down, put it on a piece of paper, wrote it down, a crayon, hand it to him. He said, he's going to be the next president if other people hear what he just said.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's the problem with conservatives still to this day. It's the Barack Obama syndrome that has carried over for almost 2 decades now, right? So, But
hold on, one thing real quick, very quickly. At no point in time did he ever mention anything communistic. He didn't say anything like, I'm a communist, vote for me. He never did that.
And that was going to be my point completely. He doesn't have to. Because the way they say things, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., the way they say the things that they say, makes you feel like you are aligned with them and they're aligned with you, right? And actually, nobody knew who Barack Obama was. Nobody knew who he was. And the people who did try to tell everyone were completely quashed by not only the left, but the right too. He was the darling for a very, very long time, right? Nobody on the right really came up against him really hard. I mean, anybody who questioned his birth certificate, any of that.
Oh, but you know what? All those tricks, okay, with the birth certificate and all that stuff. I know for a fact that what they put on whitehouse.gov within, it was 8 minutes of it being published, I certified that was a photoshopped document. It was an Adobe document.
Yeah.
It had multiple layers. I actually took the layers apart. Period. It was a fake document at whitehouse.gov. That was his birth certificate. Now, does that mean that I have hereby certified that Barack Obama had this is what I can say, is that was put out there to have a bunch of people talk about, and it's called the birtherism. They anchor that to you. What is secondary, okay, to the to the PSYOP, okay, is whether or not he had a legitimate birth certificate. I mean, it's secondary to the fact that the impact was anybody that took that bait looked like a bunch of weirdos.
Banks are supposed to be the safest placeholders for cash in the world, but in 2022 that changed. The Federal Reserve pulled out $2.5 trillion of liquidity out of the banks, and the Fed also changed the requirements so banks don't need to keep any funds on hand. This means banks are starved for liquidity and have now become very dangerous places to hold your assets. Get out of the system with the world's safest and most private assets, silver and gold. Call Kirk Elliott, PhD at 720-605-3900.
Be sure to tell him Pete Santilli sent you.